All right, so we have been nomading for about 6 months and we homeschool. I don't just use one system, so it's sort of a conglomerate of a bunch of different stuff. So I just wanted to show things that are working well for us. For one thing, teach your child to read in 100 easy lessons. Pretty much all of my kids I've done that for. But kind of the fun thing to do, since we're on the road and I do have a youngest child now, is that I have ripped out the lessons that we've done and just like taped the book together. So this is actually like lesson 36, so that it gets smaller and smaller as we go. It just kind of ripped in half already and I just went with that. So then the older kid has the second half of the book and the younger kid has the first half that's been ripped out to basically where he is. So that's been pretty fun. You can make it get smaller as needed. It's become disposable. Another thing I really like that has just been awesome. So Good and the Beautiful, I used to buy their curriculum, like the hard copies, but I guess I didn't realize that their PDFs are free. So I got the PDFs, but then it's like, well, you want the kid to write on it, right? And I guess it just came together so beautifully. So I have an iPad. I put the Good and the Beautiful PDFs on the iPad, and then we just got a stylus, like an Apple. It's not an Apple pen, it's the crayon that's like a different manufacturer, so it doesn't break as easily. But a stylus, and then they can just write on the PDF. Now I did have a problem where it was too big to like put into, you can put it into notes or you can just open it as a file on the iPad. And then you can write over the top of it, like Apple Viewer or whatever it is will let you just like write on top of a PDF. But it was too big of a file, so it kept like glitching out. So what I did was just clip the file. So I made just like 20 lessons at a time into different files from the PDF. So I just like opened the PDF and like deleted all the pages that weren't, even just like, just whatever's on the Mac does it. I didn't need a special program or anything to edit the PDF. And so I just have like 20 lessons at a time for the math and the language arts programs. And that's worked really well. So for my little kids, I've got Good and the Beautiful just in those smaller PDFs, and then they can stylus on top of it. It's really convenient and really mobile. I've got a middle school child, and so he's sort of got some online classes. That sort of like gets mixed up regularly. There's a school that my junior high and, well, I said middle school and then junior high. I guess that's kind of weird. We lived in a lot of different states, so it's sort of movable to me. So the 8th grader, or grade 8, is in full-time online school, and then I have a high schooler that's 11th grade, and she's also full-time online school, and that's been really great. They're with Williamsburg Academy, and they just have Canvas and lessons, and then they have classes that actually fit really nicely into like 2 or 3 hours a day. So they have a ton of homework all the time, but their actual online, like having to meet up at a certain time zone with other kids, is pretty minimal, which has been really great for whatever time zone we decide to be in. And then, so the middle schooler is sort of the in-betweener. Like he's got some, like kind of on his own stuff. Like I got a workbook curriculum in Britain while we were there that I thought was really cool looking. And they have a whole like system where they test 11-year-olds, and there's a whole like workbook thing that goes with that, and I just thought it looked cool, so I was like, oh hey, we'll do British curriculum right now. And then we did, he's got some online classes, and he's done like flute online even. My daughter has ukulele lessons over the internet, and then we've also got like math. Okay, so CK12. Is it called CK12, Mars?
Yeah.
Okay, so CK12 is the California online everything for free, and their math curriculum is what the older kids online school uses anyway. So I've started the middle school one in that CK12 math, 6th grade starting. so that he's just like online, like ready to go into the full-time online school whenever it's time to do that for him. Yeah. Then he's got the British curriculum, and then there's some other stuff that he's doing. Oh yeah, typing. Okay, so typing, there's a million things out there, but I did end up like purchasing a typing course, just so that it was like really ordered. And that's gone well, to just be like, yeah, do this many typing lessons a day. The big thing that we do is just have a list for the week. So like at the beginning of the week, they just know like what needs to get done for that week. So the older kids already do that with their school, and then my middle child is doing that. Just like, okay, he knows he needs to do this many lessons of this and this, and then he can check in when he's done, and ask for help, obviously. And so really it's the two youngest that I'm like focusing time with and actually sitting with and doing each of their lessons. And so that actually works pretty well. It does take focus to remember like to do it when you're in the middle of things and to keep that routine going. But actually it's really a joy to have a routine when you are nomading, and it's like it's not overcomplicated, and it stays fresh. Honestly, I don't know why, but they just love using the stylus. Honestly, there are all sorts of online classes. I know we did some reading classes last semester, like in the spring. There were some writing things. We're just like, okay, this is what we need to get better at, and then we just find an online class for that. And sometimes they're live, and sometimes they're just a teacher that you can like watch their videos and then email them your assignments, and that's been really nice. I found a website that does that, which I can't remember right now, but I'm sure I'll find it. I don't know, we're just always learning, and I think when the adults are always learning, then the kids are always learning, and we're certainly seeing interesting places everywhere, and the history, you know, that just happens because we're in places exploring, like, what is this place about, and what happened here. And so, yeah, we've got like so much. We did all that Normandy stuff in the spring, and we did British stuff earlier. We're going to do some Viking stuff now. So some of that just like we just don't even have to have curriculum per se for it, because you're going to go to those living museums and have like real memories and real experiences. And the social studies part about like just seeing the world, and like these are people, and how do they live differently here, and what do you notice, and culture. This is really, you know, obviously is a special part about what we're doing. But the logistics of like, no, we still need to read and write, and we need to like keep up with, you know, where you need to be, curriculum wise and state standards wise, right? Keeping where that needs to be. So make sure they're in line if they ever do go back to school, that they can just integrate seamlessly. And honestly, I do love the online classes for the older kids. I didn't think I would, but since we've moved so much, it's like you really need community for the older children, and the online school that we have really does create community in a way that is really nice. So anyway, and they're learning and they're doing stuff, and it's great, and it's hands off for mom, which is awesome too. So anyway, yeah, I hope that's helpful, and it's fun to just see ideas and definitely find minimal ways to pack. We started off with a couple more books than we have. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that. The Libby app allows me to still use my library at home on Kindle books, and so we've used that a ton. And then Audible is so great, especially for little kids. I'm sure anyone homeschooling is already doing that, but like my 8-year-old is so into The Magic Thief, and she just listens to that all the time. And of course, you know, so many great audiobooks, but it's a way to have reading and stories and imagination happening when I'm not actually the one reading. So that's been fun. And honestly, reading aloud some of these novels, I know that we started The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe just in time to like, because I knew that we were going to be in the place when we were going to Britain next. And so I was like, oh yeah, let's read this. And then we found Turkish Delight at the mall in Britain, where we were staying, and it was just so fun to be like, guys, this is Turkish Delight, and it was the best Turkish Delight we've ever had, and it was really fun. So there's just joyful moments there, and then also just knowing the authors in the place that we're living and the places that we go, and just sort of paying attention to that a little bit has been really cool. It's kind of a fun thing to do. I guess that's all. There's so many ways to homeschool. It's just, here's what we're doing now. It's fun.